He has started pursuing his career in teaching, and his areas of interest include like human resource management, business communication, personality development, and a very diverse areas as well. Next, he has qualified UGC in CBSE net examination in the year of 2018, and he has an experience in teaching for BCom, BBA, and MBA programs. Okay, he has a special interest in public speaking, and regularly he engages uh, in talking in terms of in workshops. Okay, he is currently working in Reva University as assistant professor. Okay, Mr. Even, you can start the session right now, and we have our students, those who have gathered here, and they are looking at you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful introduction. I'm really flattered. And before I begin, I would really like to thank Dr. Balakoteshwari for giving me this opportunity and having faith in me that I would be able to deliver today's webinar. And I would also like to thank every student and staff at Sanskriti School of Business for having me there today, although virtually. Uh, I would keep this webinar very crisp and relevant and to the point because although the topic may seem very simple, public speaking, it is also very, very important. And public speaking, a lot of times we mistake saying that public speaking is just about speech, going on stage and giving speeches, and certain level of people only need to do that. But then, if you actually go to see, public speaking is only about one person standing up, having something to say, and a large number of people listening to you. That situation can happen anywhere. It can happen inside a classroom also. You all are students, you all are in your UG and PG, and I'm sure with the pedagogy of today, you have to present certain, let's say, papers, research. You might have to also present an assignment where you are in front and all the attention is on you. So you need to present yourself in a certain way which convinces your audience. So that is why it is very important to have good public speaking skills. Now, I have a slide to share with you. So public speaking is a lot about having charisma, having a certain personality where you are able to convince people of the message that you have, of making people understand of what you want to say. And that happens if you have a little bit of charisma on you. Now, if you think for yourself, if I ask you the question, whom do you find charismatic or whom do you find attractive or what attracts you to a person? A lot of times we are very much, we feel a lot of attraction and a sense of admiration to celebrities, to famous people. Many times it could be Bollywood actors, models, it could be politicians, it could be national leaders as well. So, as a public speaker, if you want to deliver 100%, you need to have that kind of personality. Now, you'd say that can everybody have charisma? Yes, everyone can have charisma. It's not about the way a person looks, it's not about where they come from, the background that they have. It's also about how they present themselves with whatever they have, whatever personality they have. The beautiful way of presenting themselves is the charisma that they have. For example, if I tell you about Mahatma Gandhi. Now, Mahatma Gandhi is one person who is adored not just in our country, but all over the world. He, if you see his appearance, he was of an average height. He did not have a lavish lifestyle. He was not earning a lot of money when he was working for the freedom of our country. He lived very simple life. He lived in ashrams. He dressed like that. But he had that quality in him to unite the citizens of the country for one aim, which was the freedom of the country. Now, that takes a lot of charisma and personality for a person, and similarly for other national leaders as well. If you talk about today's leaders in politics, for example, The aim of a politician is to gather a lot of votes. Now, how will they gather that? How will they take that from the citizens? By connecting with citizens, by making them understand that they represent what the citizens think. They represent, they are going to stand up for the citizens. And for that, to make that connect, you cannot go to each and every citizen's house and talk to them. You cannot talk one on one with each and every citizen to get votes. You will have to face a situation where you will have to stand on a stage and speak to a large crowd, not just in front of you, but also in television. So you have to be able to transmit your message and your thoughts to the people and make a connect with that. That requires very good public speaking skills. And if you actually break down public speaking, it is all about certain elements, having certain elements when you are a public speaker. The first element is to relax. Now, it is very easy to say to relax, but it is very difficult to actually be relaxed when you are speaking publicly. Just think about a situation inside a classroom itself. A teacher has been teaching for a little while and they have stopped. They have picked up a student and they're asking them a question. They ask them a question and they have to answer. Now, the entire classroom's attention is on that one particular student who is standing up, who has the responsibility to answer that question. Just try to imagine putting yourself into that situation and just try to think what goes in your mind. I can tell you that a lot of things like, will I be correct? Will my answer be correct? How will people react to how I answer? How are they going to like it or not like it? How is the teacher going to judge me for that? We think of all those things. Most of it is self-made. And then we might fumble. We might not even answer. That is one situation if the teacher picks you up and makes you stand and answer in the class. Another situation could be a teacher has asked a question in general, not to a particular student, but in general. But if you notice inside a classroom, it takes some time for one student to actually give that answer. We hope that instead of me, someone else gives that answer because I don't want to stand up and answer that question. I don't want people looking at me. We try to make ourselves, tensed when it comes to such situations, but we don't have to do that at all. We need to relax. Giving you the same situation, I'm putting you in that same situation where you are inside a classroom and the teacher has picked up one particular student to answer a question. You are not that student. You are among the other students who've not been picked up. Think for yourself. Do you really think and hope for that student to fumble? Do you really want that student to give a wrong answer? Do you really want to get a chance where the student will say something and then you laugh? No, right? So your audience is not your enemy. When you're a public speaker, your audience is not your enemy. They don't want you to fumble. They don't want anything bad out of you. They are there because they want to listen to you. So they are supporting you. So thinking in that manner, you need to start relaxing when the attention comes on you. Other things that can help you to relax is to give yourself a positive talk. Say to yourself that I am prepared, I am confident, I was meant to be here today on the stage. I have all the materials that I need to speak, and I have the knowledge of what I'm speaking about. The audience is going to gain from me today, and I will have a good time. So start talking positive to yourself. A lot of other things that can help you to relax is to be very well prepared. If you know why you're on stage, if you know that you are the right person to speak about it, if you're confident about it, you'll automatically be relaxed, right? So when the spotlight is on you, when you have to go on stage, hold that mic and speak, take time. It doesn't matter as soon as they called your name, as soon as you're on stage, you have to start speaking. Take your time. Take your time to settle down, look at everyone, absorb the view, absorb the situation, relax, and then you may begin. So, relaxing and being confident is one of the most basic and primary elements in public speaking. You have to be very well relaxed. Another two elements is that you have to build a presence of yourself, and that happens with confidence. You have to be confident when you're speaking. And how do you build a presence? if you notice, the best speakers, if you listen to speeches, if you listen to TED Talks also, a speaker builds their presence, right? And that building of presence can happen in different ways. You may begin your speech, you may begin your presentation with a question. You may begin your presentation with a small little joke, to lighten the mood. You may begin your speech with a quote by a great personality so that the audience is able to make the connect with that and why you're there, the topic of the day. So that's how you build your presence. And you also build your presence with confidence. The way you behave in the stage, you behave in the spotlight. You don't have to stand in one place. You don't have to look and read from somewhere and just keep reading without looking at the audience. You have to take your time. You have to build up your speech when you start speaking. This could also happen since you are all students, and a lot of you might want to get into the corporate world. Some of you might want to get into the academics where you need even better public skills because you become teachers. So let's say you're in a boardroom, you've joined a company and you're in a boardroom, you're in a team, and every one of you has to present your work to the rest of the people. So there will come a chance where you will have to speak publicly. You might begin with why you're there. You might begin with the relevance of your topic at that time, right? So making that connect is very, very important. And being confident is also very important. And like I said in the previous point, you can be confident if you talk confidence to yourself. A lot of times confidence is fake. There's a saying out there which says, fake it till you make it, right? Fake, sometimes faking that you're confident enough by talking good to yourself also helps you, right? So if you are supposed to give a presentation, talk properly to yourself, talk confidence to yourself, and that's how you'll be able to build your presence as well. Moving on to the next point, it is very important for you to do good research and be very well learned in your topic. It's important that you know what you're speaking. You can't simply, of course, there are a lot of situations where you might have to suddenly give a speech. You might have to suddenly speak to a large crowd of people. But if there is a possibility and chance, if you can prepare yourself well in advance, then that will be an ideal situation, an ideal scenario. How do you prepare yourself? Again, if you have to give a presentation about, let's say, the goals that you've achieved in this month as a target, in, let's say, in a marketing situation, you are in a team, you're in a boardroom with your boss, your team leader, and your colleagues, and you have to give your goals and achievement for that month. So do good research, find out what exactly have you done, find out how will you convey those things to the audience, find out what they want to know, do all that research, who are your audience going to be, learn and prepare a good material and present yourself. These things are very much connected with giving yourself a confidence. Now, if I ask you to speak about, let's say, quadratic equation, which you studied years ago in your school, maybe that is there in your mind, but it might require you a bit of learning and revising before you're confidently able to speak in front of people. So that is why before you go on stage, it is important that you do all your research and your studies before you present yourself. Now, research not just about your topic, you can also research about where are you going to speak? What kind of a place is it? Is it a corporate environment? Is it an academic environment? What kind of decorum is there? Because accordingly will you be able to talk. Let's say you are talking in a very formal situation where political leaders are there and ministers are there, and it's a lot of dignitaries are there. It becomes a very formal environment. So you have to present yourself formally. You cannot crack certain kinds of jokes. You cannot crack certain kinds of comments as well. So research who are your audience also going to be so that you can talk accordingly. If you're talking to a much younger crowd than you, maybe your topic of discussion of that day, you might have to simplify it to their level so that they understand, so that your speech is useful and beneficial and understandable to your audience. So that is also one very important point. Sometimes in, let's say, a corporate situation, your audience might be your boss, who are more experienced than you, who have all the knowledge and technicalities of what you're speaking. So to them, you may not have to simplify a lot. So it helps a lot if you research about who your audience are going to be and what are they expecting out of you and what can they gain from your talk. Doing a research will also help in making a public speaking more effective. Presentation. Now, presentation is one of those things that matters a lot. It is actually the whole point about public speaking, how you present yourself. Like I said in the beginning itself, you might have to, you might have to move around the stage. You cannot stand static in the center of the stage. You may not be able to, just speak in one tone itself. Your speech might include questions, and your questions should sound like a question. There should be a question mark in your speech. You should know when to pause. You should know when to slow down and stop for a moment for people to think about what you just said. You should know when to speed up. You should know when to show your exclamation and excitement in your speech. All that will make your public speaking even more effective. Now, if you go on search on YouTube, certain very famous speeches of world leaders, let's say Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, the politicians of today, when you listen to their speech, you will find it sounds as if they're not talking to a crowd of people, they're talking to you personally. The way they speak, the way they use their hands theatrically, the way they use their facial expressions, the way they use their stage. Sometimes, yes, you might have to stand on a podium and speak because the mic is static. You'll have to be there itself. If you have the opportunity to have a hand mic and move around the stage, that is even better. Sometimes you might have to walk between your audience. Sometimes you have to be between them to make eye contact with them, to be able to look at them and listen to them, what questions they have, what suggestions they have, what point of views they have. So if you have those kinds of situations and opportunities, I think you should use well. And presentation will also matter, let's say, different in different scenarios. If you have an opportunity to have a PowerPoint presentation, things may be even more simpler. You might be able to explain things even more. So the way you present yourself matters a lot. This also includes grooming. It also includes how you appear on stage. If you're serious about being there, you will look like that. You'll dress up properly. I'm not saying you have to dress up fashionably. I'm not saying you have to dress up expensively. You just have to groom yourself enough to look that you are happy to be there, that you want to be there and you want to make a difference and you want to be meaningful with your topic that day. So having a great presentation will matter a lot. And these points are interlinked with each other. If you go to see, presentation will also depend on how much you are learn it about the particular topic and how well you've done your research with the previous point that I just spoke about. The presentation will also matter about how you create your presence and how confident you are. If you're not a confident person about that topic for that particular situation, you will look like that. You might fumble, you might start sweating, you might use a lot of fillers in your speech, you might pause a little, you might have to refer to your preparation, your notes, if you're not confident enough. And this is also linked with the first point that I made. If you're not relaxed enough, your presentation will not happen very well. So these points that I'm discussing today are very much interlinked. And presentation is the whole core of public speaking, right? Moving on to the next point. As a public speaker, you have to create a sense of warmth in your speech. A lot of times, your topic might be very technical. Like I said, in a corporate situation, You might not have a very vast topic that you're speaking about. You might have an exact topic. Okay, the topic is what are the goals that has been achieved in this particular month, and what are the shortcomings of the team of this month. So it's a very formal, very crisp, very short topic, very particular, certain topic. You may not be able to create, you think you may not be able to create a warmth in that topic also, but you can. For example, if you give me the situation, I would say the reason I was not able to meet this target this month is because of these many problems. I tried my best, and these are the problems that I faced. I did not know how to face these problems. That is why I was not able to meet this target. So you try to create a connect with the audience. You try to make them feel that it is understandable why this particular thing was not done. Similarly, if you are presenting an assignment, or if you're talking about anything, any topic that you're passionate about, you have to create, you have to show them how important that topic is for you and how relevant that topic is going to be for your listeners as well, for your audience as well. So creating that connect, creating that warmth in your speech is going to help you a lot. It will help to get attention of people as well. Now, imagine a situation where I have come in front of you and I'm talking in a very irrelevant subject with you. Let's say you are all students of business. Okay, you're all MBA, MCOM students, BBA students, and you're studying business management. But if I come and talk to you about physiology and anatomy, which is not relevant to you at the moment, I'm definitely sure that I'm going to lose your attention. So I don't have any relevance with the audience. The audience, why will they listen to me? Right? Even if I'm talking exactly what you need, but I'm just talking monotonously, I'm reading from a script, or I'm just continuously speaking, I'm not pausing, I'm not raising my voice, I'm not lowering my voice, I'm not stressing on certain words, I'm not pausing. It will sound very monotonous. It will sound very continuous and boring. And that will make the audience lose their attention. So it is very important to generate a sense of warmness in your speech, whatever you're talking about. And do not consider that a formal situation cannot be made informal, or there cannot be any connect in a formal situation at all. You can actually make connect with the audience in a formal situation as well. This point, connect point, is linked with the previous point, warmth, connection. The example that I gave you about political leaders who go out for votes. Why do some people win elections and why do some people not win elections? If you go to see, again, like I said, a political leader cannot go to each and every house and speak to the citizens to get votes. They will definitely have to speak at a time to a large audience because that is only feasible. But in that also, they can connect with the citizens. How do they connect with the citizens? By making them feel that I am here exactly in the same position like you are. What your problems are my problems as well. So try to make a relevance between what you're speaking and who are listening to you. Like today's example, this particular example, this webinar, I am speaking to you about public speaking, the essentials of public speaking, and you're here to learn and understand what are the essential points for public speaking. So there is a connection. You are sitting there, hopefully, because you are interested in the topic. I am sitting here talking about this topic because I am interested in topic as well as I have some experience in this topic. So there is a connection. There is a supply and there is a demand for this topic. That is why we are here. So that is why maybe I would be able to gather your attention by making you understand why are you here and why is it important for you to listen to this topic today, right? So there has to be a connection with people. And a lot of times you can create connection by asking questions, for example. If I was there personally for the webinar today, I might have at this point picked up someone and asked a question, what do you think? Is this point relevant or not? And how do you create connection? Sometimes in a classroom situation, a teacher might create a connection with a student by asking them a question or giving them an example, a real life example. so that the attention of the audience is well maintained. So generating that warmth and connection between your audience and yourself is extremely important for you to be effective in your public speech. Interaction. Now, this is a very good point and a favorite point of mine, a favorite element of mine in public speaking, because this is beneficial to both the speaker as well as the listeners. It can be used as a tool, interaction, for a lot of things. You can use it to gather attention of people. A lot of times a speech can be very, very long, couple of hours long, 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long. It can be very tiresome and tedious to sit at the same place and listen to that person. So there's a huge chance for the audience to lose interest on your speech, no matter how good you are as a speaker. So getting back their attention can be used with interaction. To make yourself sure whether your audience is understanding what you're speaking can be solved with interaction as well. To make that speech even more interesting, you can use interaction. And interaction can be done in many ways. The first thing that comes to our mind when we listen to this topic, listen to this point, interaction, we think it is about asking questions. Yes, question asking is also one of the ways that you can interact. Inside a classroom, if you are a teacher or you are presenting a paper or an assignment in the classroom, you can create an interest about your topic by asking questions to your audience. You can ask questions like, okay, so this is what I've said. What do you think? How would you have done the same thing in your manner, in your style? That will make the audience feel that the speaker is interested in them also, that the speaker is acknowledging their presence also. So it will make the audience think that, okay, yes, this question has been asked to me. How will I act in that situation? So it will make the listeners think about your perspective. That'll help you in convincing them, right? So asking questions is one way. Giving them a real life story in your public speech is also one way of interacting. By telling something that has occurred with you in real life, you can create a connect with them. That, I just spoke about safety measures in an institution. That is my topic of speech today. And I just gave you a real life example of how I faced a situation where I was not safe in an institution because of these many things. So because of that real life experience, people will be able to connect with you. They will give their experiences as well. So they are also trying to interact with you. So interaction is a very, very powerful tool in public speaking when you have to be effective in public speaking, right? So ask as much questions as you can, make it a very discussion sort of environment. Yes, I do understand a lot of situations you may not be able to discuss with people because let's say there's a situation where the crowd is huge. It's in thousands of numbers, hundreds of numbers, and you can't go and speak to each and every one of them. You can't speak to a lot of people within the crowd. In those situations, you'll have to find out other ways to make an interaction with people. But interaction is a very, very powerful tool if you need to be effective. Articulation and your voice, your tone. Articulation is to be able to use words to express your message, to convince people about your point of view. And articulation depends a lot on your tone, your tonations, how you increase your volumes on certain words at certain times, and how you decrease your volume. Sometimes, if you want people to introspect, if you want them to think about something that you just said, you might lower down your voice. You might give them a chance to think about what you just spoke. Sometimes, if you want to stress on a certain word, you might have to stress that word, you might have to elongate that word a little bit so that the audience is even more attentive for that word, right? So you need to be articulate enough when you're speaking. You need to be good in your language as well. Articulation depends a lot on your language and your grammar, how good you are in your language. And please believe from me, please take it from me, good public speaking is not equal to good English. Good public speaking is equal to good language. No matter what language you're speaking, no matter what language you are interacting in, you need to be good in that language. there's going to be no point if I am a very good speaker, if I'm a very good orator in English only, but I'm speaking to a crowd of people who don't understand English, who don't speak English. So I will not be effective at all. So it is not important for you to know different kinds of languages, but it is important how you use that language. And this, you will be able to do it only if you, let's say, read a lot, if you speak in that language. So whatever language you are interacting in, speaking in, be good in that language and use your tone. Articulation also depends upon how you use your body language as well. Don't have to just stand in one center. You don't have to stand in one center of the stage and just keep on speaking. You can use your hands theatrically. You can use the facial expressions theatrically, right? All that will make people understand what you're trying to say as well. So articulating your thoughts and using your tone in different manners is going to be very effective as well. Now, this brings me to one of the final points of the elements in public speaking. You have to stick to the topic and you have to stick to the time. The reason you're on stage, the reason you are the center of attention for that particular day is because you are supposed to speak in a particular topic. You're supposed to speak in an agenda. You have to stick to that. Of course, you can divert. Of course, you can give examples. You can definitely give real life stories. You can connect in all that different ways. But those stories, those examples, those situations, those exercises should be related to the topic that you're just speaking, right? And also, you have to be very mindful of your time. How long are you speaking? How long are you repeating the same points again and again? Because that will confuse people. Elaborating is one thing and confusing is another thing. Elaborating a certain point is essential, is very much required. But speaking in the same point again and again and utilizing the time, it might start becoming confusing to your audience. If you're supposed to speak for a particular period of time, stick to that period of time. If you go beyond that time for a huge gap, it will start appearing to be boring. You will start losing people because all of us are humans at the end of the day. We have an attention span which is very limited, right? During that limit, in fact, they say that attention span of a person, of a human being, is just 15 minutes, right? For younger people, it's even lesser, especially the younger people of today. It's even lesser. That is a problem that we are facing today, but we have to work around that problem, around that situation. So try to utilize your time. Yes, try to work within that time frame, but do not stress beyond that, because from then you'll start losing the interest of people. And also don't try to keep very, very short, because it may not be useful at all for people also. Now, next, what I would like to speak about to you about public speaking is to give you certain tips. So one of the first things that I would say is that it can help your public speaking if you watch interviews. If you listen to two people speak, because you can learn a lot of things. A lot of times when you watch interviews, the interviewer, a lot of times, is an experienced person. They could be a journalist, they could be a writer, it could be anybody, but they're more experienced in talking, in speaking. So try to pay attention to how they speak, how they look when they speak, how are they sitting, how are they moving their hands, how are they looking at the interviewee, the person who's answering the questions. What kind of questions are asked? How long is that question? So try to pay attention to these small details when you watch a lot of interviews, because that helps. You can imbibe from them, right? The language, the way a person speaks, the way they're effective. You can get a lot of inputs from watching interviews. Watching TED Talks and speeches also help a lot. I'm sure all of you are aware and you know what TED Talks are. That is exactly a very public speaking situation. One person is speaking on a particular topic, and the audience is listening to them. A lot of times they're speaking very interesting topics and very beneficial topics. If you notice some things, I would recommend you to, again, I'm sure you've already watched a lot of TED Talks, all of you, but I would recommend you to again go back and watch, and this time notice how a particular TED Talk is. And I'm sure this is something that you will notice, that the speaker, even though they're given a certain spot to stand, a red carpet to stand, they'll still move around. They'll still look at the audience. They'll make eye contacts with the audience. We are very much afraid as speakers, and it's very natural. It comes to me as well. And I'm sure it comes to all others who go and publicly speak. Of course, it's very natural. So if we are afraid, what we think is, I want this to get over as soon as possible. I'll just go there. I'll just speak. I'll just read from whatever I have in my hand, and I'll just get out of that situation. I'll just get out of the spotlight. But getting out of the spotlight is not your target. To make people understand, to interact with the people, and to convince and give your point of view is the target why you're standing there on stage. That is your aim, not to run away and finish that as soon as possible. So try to make eye contacts with people when you're on stage. Try to look at the audience, because that will make the audience feel that you acknowledge their presence, that you cherish, and it is valuable for you that they are sitting in front of you, they're giving your time. When they feel that, when the audience feels that, they will be even more attentive. And same as the situation inside a classroom also. You are all students who have to present your assignment and your project in front of people, in front of your teachers as well. Make eye contacts with people. Don't just look down or look somewhere else on the wall or anywhere else. Look at the people who are listening to you. They will be even more attentive. And when they look attentive, you also will feel a sense of relaxation that, yes, I'm going well in my speech. So trying to acknowledge people and making eye contacts with people is extremely important. And this is something that you will notice if you watch interviews and TED Talks and speeches when people give, right? Also, like I said before, being within your audience will also help. Asking them questions will also help you to be more effective. Notice that next time when you watch a video of any speech. Another thing that has definitely helped me to publicly speak and give confidently, be on stage, is a lot of practice. Fortunately, public speaking is a quality which we can acquire with practice. You don't have to be a born public speaker. Nobody is a born public speaker. It always comes with practice. And fortunately, this particular skill can be acquired by everyone, but with practice. And there are different methods of practicing, like speaking that language. Speaking in that language with as many people as you can. For example, if you want to be a good public speaker in English language, forget your native language, forget Hindi, forget every other language, and try to speak in English, and with your friends, with your teachers, with your colleagues, with even strangers outside, with your family at home as well. Make that a habit to improve your language. And if you want to improve your any other language like Hindi or any other regional language, try to make a point that you use that language as much as possible, so that your pronunciations become better, you become more confident in your words, in your grammar, in your language. And that confidence is going to help you use that when you speak publicly to a larger audience. So try to practice as much as possible. Another way of practicing is reading a lot of books, because that gives you exposure to a lot of words, a lot of pronunciations that we've never even heard of, right? So being exposed to such things is going to help you a lot. Nowadays, we have audiobooks, which has made it even more easier, because when you listen to audiobooks, you can actually listen to the pronunciation. You can actually know how to pronounce things when you listen to audiobooks. Listen to podcasts. Podcasts are also very effective when you want to be a public speaker. You can understand how people speak, how an interview and interaction happens. So podcasts will also help you. One exercise that has helped me a lot right from the beginning, right from the time I started with elocution and public speaking, during my school, during my career as well, is I used to look at myself on the mirror and I used to speak. And I'm sure this particular advice, a lot of you might have gotten in the past as well, but it is very effective. Try that out. If you want to have something to help you, you can make notes in a sheet of paper and you can read that note looking at yourself on the mirror. That will help you to get acquainted with, get a practice of standing in a place in front of people and making eye contacts as well. That will give you a practice for that. It will also help you to take control of your voice, to take control of your tone. If you practice this, looking in front of the mirror and speaking. And if you have the opportunity, speak in front of your friends, speak in front of your family members, make them sit down at a place and pick up a topic, any topic. It can be a small topic as my favorite food. It can be a topic as current affairs. Just pick up any topic, make people sit in front of you and practice speaking to them. It can be a small crowd. It can be just 3 people, 5 people, your group of friends, your group of family members. Do that practice and it will help you to speak to a larger audience because you'll start getting more and more confident about yourself. Especially today, another thing that can help you is joining clubs, joining public speaking clubs. And there are many public speaking clubs virtually as well. So there's a club called as Toastmasters International. I think you might have heard about Toastmasters International because they're very famous and they're very effective. They're very good club and it is very regional. And if there is no Toastmasters club available to you, create a public speaking club within your institution itself. People who are interested in public speaking, people who are interested in improving their public speaking skills, come together, form a group, form a club, and start practicing with each other. Just the points that I just previously told you, that can be implemented if you form a club. There'll be a larger group of people in front of whom you can speak. And in clubs like this, Toastmasters Club, you know what happens is they will pick up a theme for the day. Let's say childhood. Childhood is the theme for the day. Every speaker in that particular day, every member is going to come in front and they're going to speak about that theme. Now, childhood is a very vast theme. It's a very big topic where you can speak for hours together. So you can speak in front of the crowd, right? The crowd is going to listen to you. And since it is a club and you're there for each other's benefits, you can correct each other's mistakes. They can tell you that you were speaking very slow, very softly, we were not able to hear you, or you were speaking too loud, or you were speaking too fast or too slow. So you'll get a lot of corrections when people come together with the same intent in a club and you practice as much as possible. Also, there will be a consistency, a regularity. You will meet every week, maybe twice a week. So there will be consistency in that practice. And the more you practice, the more you get better in this skill. So try to form and join clubs, public speaking clubs if you can. Another thing that helps people in public speaking is grooming. Grooming yourselves. It is very important. And by grooming of yourselves, I would say by looking presentable. Again, I'm not saying that you have to look expensive. You have to look fashionable. You have to look very good, gorgeous. No. You have to look presentable, that's all. Presentable, good enough to be in front of people, that's all, right? And looking good, looking presentable is going to make you feel confident as well. So try to get that as well. Try to be presentable and get yourself even more confident. Just think about this. If I suddenly pick you up and you're not ready, if you were not looking presentable or you were not ready, you will feel that you were not ready. You will feel that you're not presentable. And that feeling is going to affect how you speak to me in public, right? So try to make all kinds of confident factors to you, and grooming is one of them, right? Another thing that I can suggest you to practice public speaking is to speak to strangers. I know it's very difficult. It is difficult for me as well. It is difficult for everybody. Nobody would like to go and speak to strangers. You'll think a lot of things. I'm disturbing that person. I might be imposing myself, wasting their time. And I'm also afraid, what will they think about me? What reactions will they give to me? What if it is not a favorable reaction? So let me not go and talk to them. But if you talk to strangers, the more and more you talk, the more and more you strike a conversation with new people, the more confident you'll get, right? Because after all, as a public speaker, a lot of times, in many situations, your audience may actually be strangers to you. You may not have met your audience before. And this situation most likely will arise in all of our lives. We are not going to speak only in front of our class. We're not going to speak only in front of our family members or in front of our team members in our companies. There might come a time where you might have to speak in front of a larger crowd. Most of them you might not even know and understand, right? So to be confident to speak with that kind of crowd, you have to start speaking to strangers, start striking a conversation with people. I know all of you have a set of friends, a group of friends with whom you are all comfortable. You're each other is just like each other. You're their type, they are your type. You understand things. So there's a sense of comfort in that group. Try to get out of that comfort zone. Try to speak to people who are not your friends as well within your classroom. Try to speak to students who are from other departments as well, right? From other colleges as well. Go to fests, go outside and expose yourself to a situation where you get to speak to many kinds of people. Try to increase your network. And that's how you'll understand how to pick up a conversation, how to start a conversation, and how to carry that conversation, right? Because that will depend on the interaction. You will start a conversation. It could be anything. Imagine this situation. You have gone for a conference, and it's a conference about human resources, human resource management conference. It's your topic of interest as well. So you've gone to that conference. But there are people from other universities and colleges, people from other cities and countries as well who've come there. You can start developing networks with them. So you can just go to them and you can start up a conversation, something like, so how did you like that topic with that speaker spoke? I think that was very relevant with today's generation, with today's scenario. What do you think about it? When you start that topic and you ask that question, what do you think about it? The listener will feel you are interested in them, and then they will give their point of view to you, right? So you will understand how they think. And from whatever input they have given, you can carry on from there. Okay, is this what you've understood? But I actually understood this way, and this is what I think. What do you think about that? So that's how you carry on the conversation as well. This is exactly what you do in a public speaking as well. So these are the different ways that you can practice and improve your public speaking skills as well. Yeah. So these were the elements and these were the tips that I had to give you when it comes to public speaking. And it's not a rocket science, public speaking. I know it's very difficult. It's very nerve-wracking when the spotlight is on you, when everyone is looking at you, when they expect you to speak something. I know it's very difficult, but it is something that all of us can do. It is something that all of us can manage. And we have to manage, especially in this time and age. What do you think an interview is? An interview is a form of public speaking. The interviewers, the panel of members in front of you, are all strangers. You don't know them when you apply for a new job. How you present yourself and how you convince yourself to them, how you speak to them publicly matters. That will give you a job or it will not give you a job. So public speaking is an essential skill that all of us have to have, not just leaders, not just famous people, but all of us. The crowd may vary, the number of people in front of you may vary, but it will happen to all of us in our lives, right? So it is crucial that we start practicing public speaking. And it is not, like I said, not a very difficult task. It has to begin with a small little step of standing up, being confident in yourself, and starting your conversation. That's how I think you will get a lot out of the skill of public speaking. I now I would like to be open for any questions if you have. I would try my best to clear your doubts, give you suggestions as much as I can. If you're comfortable, you can also put your questions in the chat box. You don't have to worry. You can have any kind of question, as big as you want, as small as you want, any kind of question related with the slide, with whatever I spoke, or in general as well, when it comes to public speaking. I think you're on mute and you're trying to say something. No questions? Yes.
Thank you, Ibn, for your session. Okay, I think our students are not having any kind of questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for it.
Thank you.
And,
my pleasure.
Yeah, students have taken away, there were many takeaways from your session in terms of, the kind of charismas which are required in terms of public speaking, especially. It was, it was a very nice session for the students. A few students have given feedback as well, saying that, they have learned many things from your session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
I appreciate
for
that.
Thanks for your precious time with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.